left Peru and sailed to England alone. There he met the Browns and they took him home. Now a new life has begun. He's Windsor Garden's favorite son, 'cause he always does his best to help everyone. When a problem appears, he never misses a beat and always finds a way to land on his feet. Has his very own unique point of view. Looks at everything as if it's brand new. He is friendly and polite, and he tries to do things right, but he gets in sticky messes just the same. He's curious and speaks his mind, but trouble's never far behind. It's Paddington Bear, he's one of a kind.
I'm Paddington Bear. You always told me to save my money for a rainy day, Aunt Lucy. So you'll be happy to know that's just what I've been doing. Putting all of my money in the bank was a very wise decision. Now it would always be safe and sound. What? Robbery at Floyd's bank? But that's where my money is.
Oh! When Paddington puts on his Wellington boots, there's sure to be trouble. But turning right when he always goes left could mean catastrophe.
Attention Unit 1, proceed to Floyd's bank in case the thieves return to the scene of the crime. Over.
Hey? Possible shifty suspect spotted in front of the bank. Over.
Stay where you are, Unit 1, and keep your eyes on him.
I had decided to withdraw all my money from the bank, but I had to be careful. The robbers had struck once, and they might come back for more.
Suspect took something from a suitcase, then headed towards the bank.
Oh, can I help you?
I've come to see Mr. Floyd.
Well, there is no Mr. Floyd here. I am Mrs. Patel, the bank manager. May I help you?
Yes, I want to withdraw all of my savings from your bank.
Please, why don't we step into my office where we can talk about this, Mr.
Paddington Brown.
Mr. Brown, may I ask you why you want to take out all of your money?
Because of the robbery.
I see. Have you a lot of money, Mr. Brown?
£5.
One of our tellers can help you, Mr. Brown.
Excuse me? Is there anybody there?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't see you.
I would like to take out all of my money and the interest that I've been saving for a rainy day.
Well, I'm afraid you won't keep very dry on this. You only have 10 pence in interest.
10 pence? That certainly doesn't sound very interesting.
Interesting isn't the same as interest. Now, how would you like your money?
I'd like it with a £5 note, please.
£5, 10 pence.
There must be some mistake. This isn't the note I gave you. It's got different numbers.
Well, sir, I would think that your note is long gone by now. Perhaps it was stolen in the robbery yesterday. Or maybe we burned it.
Burned my money?
Burned his money? They better not have burned my money.
That's what happens to notes when they get worn out.
Please, my money had a large chunk of marmalade stuck to it.
But why would they put marmalade on his money?
We didn't put marmalade on his money. He did. And I remember your note because it's stuck to several others, so I kept it right here out of harm's way until the robbers took it.
Then my money was stolen. Mrs. Bird always said to call her in an emergency, and this was definitely an emergency.
Suspect has entered the telephone booth. Over.
This is the emergency number. Where are you calling from, please? And what kind of help do you need?
The bank. I need help at Floyd's bank. All the help you can send.
Help is on the way.
Finally, it looked like something was going to go right.
Emergency at Floyd's bank.
I need backup. Over.
That's the same way Paddington went this morning. I'll eat my hat if he isn't up to something.
Big happenings at Floyd's bank. Police have a suspect from yesterday's robbery in custody.
I knew you were up to no good. You're nothing but a hoodlum.
But it was my £5 note that was stolen. It had a marmalade chunk on it.
Well, maybe not a robbery suspect, but a bear causing mischief who deposited money smeared in marmalade.
Officer, I believe there's been a terrible mistake. This is no hoodlum. He's an upstanding citizen of this community.
You know this bear?
Why, of course. I even opened his bank account for him.
Officer, there has obviously been a misunderstanding. This bear is one of our customers.
Really? Well, that doesn't explain why I called the emergency number for help.
But that's what you're supposed to do when you need help.
Not for this kind of emergency.
I was only trying to call Mrs. Bird, but a strange voice asked me what I needed.
So I said I needed help.
I'm sure he didn't mean to cause such a commotion. Did you, Paddington?
Well, no, but Mrs. Bird, my note was stolen. The one with the marmalade on it.
Oh.
Attention all cars. Robbery suspect detained after trying to use marmalade defective note. All cars proceed to 55A Melbourne Lane.
Terribly sorry, sir. And it looks like you may have helped catch the real thieves.
Like I say, bears always land on their paws.
And because of the help of one outstanding citizen, or rather one outstanding bear, the Floyd's bank thieves were apprehended and the stolen money returned.
And to think it was because of some marmalade on a note. Mr. Brown, it is with great pride that I can now return your note. And thank you for putting marmalade on it. It was very helpful.
If you like, Mrs. Patel, I could put marmalade chunks on all your notes.
No thank you, Mr. Brown. I don't think that will be necessary.
I decided to keep my money at Floyd's bank after all, Aunt Lucy, where Mrs. Patel assures me it will keep on growing. And when it has, I hope to come and visit you. But Mrs. Bird says with only £5 10 it may be a while before I do. Adios. I was very excited when Mr. Gruber told me we would be going mackerel fishing off the coast of Brittany in France. I like fishing, the ocean, and sailing, and couldn't believe my luck that I would soon be doing all three at the same time. Mr. Gruber made friends with a retired admiral, Admiral Grundy, who now lived and fished for mackerel in France. Mr. Gruber would use our experience in his book, The World and Its Wonders. Mr. Gruber very kindly bought me some oilskins. That's what they call rain pants. But I don't think the shop had many bear customers.
Ahoy, Mr. Brown!
Shiver me timbers, what's this? Expecting a gale, bear?
Shiver your timbers, Admiral Grundy. But all the boards on your boat are still stuck together.
I think the Admiral is admiring your new oilskins.
Thank you, Admiral Grundy. Paddington Bear, ready for duty, Admiral.
Stand by forward!
Stand on my forearms? Aye, aye, Captain.
Watch the birdie!
Watch the birdie? Aye, aye, Captain.
Splice the main brace! Hoist the mainsail!
Yes, you're right. I am having trouble with my braces. But this should help.
Mainsail hoisted! Whoops! Whoa! Mr. Brown, why don't you cast off? Mr. Brown?
Where's that young bear feller of yours got to, Gruber? Don't tell me he's fallen overboard!
Mr. Brown, are you there?
Yes, I am, Mr. Gruber.
Where?
Right here.
Are you all right?
Well, actually, no.
Good grief! He's got himself hoisted to me main mast!
There. Now I've got you.
Thank you, Mr. Gruber. I had never thought that fishing could be quite so complicated. What with all the nets and lines. But luckily, Admiral Grundy was there to show us all we needed to know.
Always make sure your nets aren't tangled when you throw them over.
And please, always make sure there aren't any bears in them too. Admiral Grundy put me on untangling the nets duty, mostly because I had done the tangling. Now, for the big moment. The thing about fishing is that you never know what you're going to catch, and sometimes that's just as well. Admiral Grundy decided to give me the very important job of fishing with a line and a pin. I was not about to let my first catch of the day get away from me. But I had caught one of Admiral Grundy's nets. Full of fish. Flying fish, it would appear.
Hold on, Mr. Brown.
I'm doing my best, Mr. Gruber.
Watch out below!
Help!
Now that's what I call the catch of the day. Good work, mates.
After our success at fishing, Admiral Grundy decided to treat us to a relaxing afternoon on an island.
Splendid. We'll set up my tent in case anyone wants to take a nap in the shade. Now, don't forget to tie up there.
Thank you for reminding me.
Shiver me timbers, I forgot my beats chair. It's adrift! My ship's adrift! Didn't you tie up there?
Oh dear, I thought you meant this end of it.
50 years at sea. Never lost a ship yet, let alone being marooned. What a crew!
Oh. It's all right, Mr. Brown. We'll think of something to get us out of this.
Huh. But for now, we better get ready to spend the night out here. Gruber, you collect firewood. Paddington, you're on tent duty with me.
Aye, aye, Captain. While Admiral Grundy was grumbling at the prospect of spending a cold night on the windswept island.
Can't believe it. Ship adrift? What will people in the village say?
I was quite excited. I had never spent a night in a tent before. But this one looked rather small to fit 3 people. Oh.
That's it, Bear. I'll set the poles, and you tie the guy ropes and hammer in the stakes. And be careful with your knots. Don't want it blowing off as soon as we get inside.
I had no idea what a guy rope was, and I couldn't see any stake. But if there's one thing bears are good at, it's hammering.
Shake a leg, Bear! Tie it off!
It isn't easy with paws. It was time for drastic action.
What happened to the tent?
I think I must have got my guy ropes crossed by mistake. Then Admiral Grundy told me to shake my leg.
And where is the Admiral?
Help!
He told me to tie it off.
Oh, no.
What's the meaning of this?
Hello? I saw Monsieur Le Bear's signal for help.
What signal for help?
Monsieur Le Bear was waving in distress, so I came to the rescue. Come, it is getting late.
I wonder, Mr. Brown.
About what, Mr. Gruber?
If it's just you, or if all bears are born under a lucky star.
Don't forget me! Help!
Mr. Gruber says our spot of fishing will make an excellent chapter in his book, and the Admiral gave me his tent as a souvenir. He said he would never be able to sleep in it again. But I can't think how I'm going to get it into my scrapbook. One morning, I stopped outside Mr. Gruber's shop when something very strange happened. It was a lovely sunny day, and yet... Excuse me, that was my nose. And what are you doing to Mr. Gruber's window?
It's job week.
Job week? Well, I hope Mr. Gruber knows he won't be very pleased if you drip on his customers.
It's all right, Mr. Brown. People give the Scouts odd jobs to do and pay them what they think it's worth. The money all goes to charity.
Charity? It would be nice to send some money to Aunt Lucy, but I don't suppose they have bears in the Scouts.
I shouldn't let that stop you. You must have been a cub once. You could have your own job week.
Job week for bears? What a good idea. Excuse me, everyone. I must go and see Mrs. Bird.
Goodbye, Mr. Brown. Take care. Oh, you missed a bit here. It's a marmalade chunk.
A job? What would be a safe job for Paddington?
I don't mind earning danger money, Mrs. Bird.
I was thinking more of the safety of the house.
Oh, I've always felt very safe here at 32 Windsor Gardens, Mrs. Bird.
I've got just the job. You can hang this lot on the clothesline.
And when they're dry, I can iron them if you like.
Ha ha! I'd like to see that. The day I let Paddington near an iron.
I wanted to do a particularly good job with the laundry, so Mrs. Bird would find me other jobs. Wind is very good for drying clothes, but makes it difficult to hang them.
Bear, where do you think you're going? Mind my leg.
Oh dear, Mr. Curry. The end's come off.
It's meant to. It's part of my costume for tonight's fancy dress contest at the town hall. I'm going as Long John Silver, the famous pirate. I expect to win first prize. I shouldn't bother with that ghost costume if I were you.
Oh, this isn't a costume. It's laundry. I'm sorry for knocking you over, Mr. Curry, but if you'll excuse me, I must start on the ironing.
Mrs. Bird lets you do ironing?
Well, she did say she'd like to see me do it.
Come, come, my dear bear. I've got a little job for you.
Do I get paid extra for the frills?
Paid? What are you babbling about?
It's Bear's job week, Mr. Curry.
Oh, Bear's job week. It's bad enough having Scouts knocking on everybody's door. I may give you something if you do a good job. On the other hand, I may not. Make sure the iron's hot. But not too hot. Otherwise, you'll damage the material. And I shall have to charge you. Now, I have to see Mr. Gruber about a sword. And Bear, see what you can do about an eye patch and a parrot. You bring my pirate costume and my perfectly ironed shirt to the town hall.
I was feeling thirsty, so while the iron was heating up some more, I thought I would go home and fetch a thermos of cocoa. Sorry, I can't help you, Mrs. Bird. I've got a job for Mr. Curry.
Oh, getting any money out of Mr. Curry will be a job in itself.
Mr. Curry said he needed an eye patch, but I thought a pirate should always have a spare, and I'd found the perfect material when... Oh no! Mr. Curry's pirate hat!
That's my final offer. It is rather old, after all.
Oh, this is an antique shop, Mr. Curry. And it's worth much more than 10 pence.
But I only need it for tonight.
All right, you can borrow it for...
Right, now I must get to the town hall to see if that bear has finished my costume.
Since I had ruined Mr. Curry's pirate hat, I wanted to do a particularly good job with the ironing. First, I had to make sure the iron was hot enough, just as Mr. Curry had. Mr. Curry said he wanted the wrinkles ironed out, so I hoped I could iron out the cocoa stain too. I tried my best on the wrinkles, but cocoa stains go sticky when you iron them. And feather dusters aren't very good at cutting through goo. And it's very hard to put out a fire using a wooden leg. Oh dear. And while I thought I'd found Mr. Curry's parrot, I was pretty certain that I was in trouble again.
Why, Paddington, I didn't know you'd entered the costume contest.
It isn't a costume, Mr. Brown. It's a disguise. Oh, and if you see me at the Jamboree tonight, don't call me Paddington. Call me Redbeard. It was a good idea to come in disguise because Mr. Curry was upset and he was carrying something sharp.
Where's that bear with my costume?
Here it is, Mr. Curry, and you'll find eye patches and a parrot as well.
Oh.
I wonder where Paddington is.
That's Redbeard.
Never.
Bear! Bear! Where is that bear?
And just what are you, sir? A pirate who escaped a burning deck?
No, a pirate who had his costume ruined by a bear.
Well, you've won first prize for the funniest costume ever. Pity about your parrot, though.
We won, Mr. Curry. We won!
There he is. That's the bear that did this to my costume.
Did you say first prize?
Yes, but of course you'll have to share the prize with your friend here, since he helped with the costume. Tell me, what are you going to do with your half of the prize money?
I'm going to give it to the Home for Retired Bears in Lima, Peru.
All of it?
All of it. You see, I shall still have the money Mr. Curry promised me for doing his ironing.
What?
I hope you and all the other bears enjoy the prize money and this extra present. Oh, the red beard and marmalade.